Sure. All right. Thank you so much, everybody, for being here today and for the last minute little Zoom link change. But we are so excited to talk to you about what we've been up to. And I don't know if you can see me. I can see Rachel. Hold on. There we go. So my name is Carrie Drinkwine, and this call is themed around the Millionaire Mom movement. So, side note disclaimer: we are not millionaires yet. But we are making extremely healthy livings in our industry, and we are moving in that direction. And our passion and mission and vision is to help people attain personal health sovereignty and financial freedom, and simultaneously through our platform. And so I want to just invite you in with really a question. And with this theme of the Millionaire Mom movement, if you had $1 million, what would you spend it on? Let's just start to brainstorm, start to dream a little bit. Because I think one of the biggest things we've experienced in a society as a whole is we have stopped dreaming. We have just started surviving, going to work, trying to make enough money to pay the bills, living for the weekend, right? And not really dreaming or staying in connection with our bigger visions in life. So if you had $1 million, immediately, like in your hands right now, what would you do with it? I'd love to see some comments. Drop a comment if you want. Let's see, we've got some comments in here. Oh, no. I know that I personally would do so many things. We've got bring my husband home. Yes, that is actually one of my things on my list this year. To accomplish in my household. So I want to actually just open with sharing what we're all about here, what we're doing, and where we've come from. So our intention as a team here and in our mission is really to uplevel our own lives and our communities, and to open up this business opportunity to each and every woman that we come in contact with. Of course, men too are welcome. This is just kind of themed the Millionaire Mom movement. But our intention is to really open up this opportunity for moms not only to dream, for women to dream, but also to align professionally with something that really means a lot to you. So we are all partnered with an organic regenerative superfood company. And this superfood company literally transformed my entire life and business in less than 3 years. And so what this superfood company is it's called Purium, and it represents purity and premium. And they really had an overarching mission of ending human suffering in the sense of overtoxicity and undernourishment, creating planetary wellness, and financial sovereignty. So our pillars are really, how can we better the planet and better the people as a whole? And that is a mission that really I haven't heard of before. I think that when we, when we get raised, we get taught like go to college, rack up some college debt, go to school, and then you graduate, you get a job, you work for somebody else, and you hope to make a relatively good living. And that is just not fitting with me or any of these women that are here sharing our Millionaire Mom movement with you. And so I'm going to share just a little bit about my personal story. And my personal story is that I was, I want to say, a thriving practitioner in the state of my business was going well. My business was very full. I had more clients than I knew what to do with, but it took me years to get here. So I actually got into the regenerative health field through my own autoimmune disease. I had 3 different autoimmune diseases. I was very, very, very sick for a long time with a very general education in nutrition and a master's in holistic nutrition. And it was in that moment that I realized I didn't know anything. If I was sick, who was I making sick? And so through my journey and through my process of really finding the world of regenerative detox is how I reversed my condition and how I became obsessed with teaching people that suffering was optional. And so fast forward, I'm going to just give you the fast version of it took me years to build this practice, this clinic that I'm sitting in right now. I'm telling you, years. I went to so much schooling. I had so much debt. I was at so many health expos and pop-ups and hanging things at coffee shops and really building my practice from the ground up. And I remember saying to my husband, when I was building this practice, I was teaching hot yoga in the morning. I would get there at 5 a.m. and I would teach hot yoga. And then I would go work my nutrition practice in the afternoon. And then at night I would waitress. And I saw my kids for like a half an hour in between those shifts. And it ate my soul alive. And I kept trying to tell myself, it's temporary, it's temporary, it's temporary. You're building your practice. And once you get that, you're going to have your freedom. And I remember saying to my husband, I just want the day where I can have enough clients that all I do is regenerative health and that's it. And we make a good income. Well, I did that. I got there and it was really heartbreaking because what I realized was I was trapped. I was in the clinic 7 days a week, working hours for dollars, trading my time one client at a time. And I could never get ahead. Like I was at a ceiling of my own time and my kids were suffering and I was suffering. And a little story is I was 7 months postpartum. My hair was falling out. My skin elasticity was going, and I could not figure out what was going on because I was eating 100% organic. I was juicing. I was doing all these things and I knew I was missing something. And so a little bit of research into soil health and learning about actually 1% of the United States soil is deemed nutrient dense, and that we are inundated with a chemical pesticide called glyphosate, which is a neurotoxic carcinogen. And it has contributed to tons of disease in the body. But most of all, it has injured our soil and injured our plants, which is why we have a nation that's overly toxic and undernourished. And when I learned this information, it became a light bulb for me to think, oh my gosh, like what am I missing in my diet? If the soil's unhealthy, what am I missing? So as a practitioner and selfishly, I started searching for a solution. Sorry, the sun's beating in my window right now. I started searching for a solution. And I researched tons of different superfood supplementations because I'd always believed in organic whole foods only. And, maybe add if you need to, but I didn't believe in isolates. Whole foods and herbs was really my standpoint, my entire practice. So when I learned that we actually weren't getting the micronutrients we need to repair our bodies in our organic foods, it was like crushing to me. Because that's what I've been teaching for years. And so I sought out a solution, and the solution, it was Purium that I found after searching tons of companies, looking for ones that didn't have isolates, meaning things made in a lab, isolated chemistry, that didn't have whey or soy or chemicals, and on and on. So from the practitioner standpoint, Purium became the most amazing solution I could ever find because it's 100% organic, it's kosher, it's live, it's dried in the wind, vine ripened, and all of their farming practices are what make this like lush, vibrant, micronutrient dense superfood. And it checked all my boxes. And so I figured, okay, I'm going to give it a try and see what happens. That single decision I made changed the trajectory of my entire life. Like, I'm that serious. I know it sounds serious, but it's serious. So when this happened, I was really not in a good financial place. And just because we had gone through a bunch of personal stuff with my daughter, we had a lot of health bills that had stacked up. And turns out I had to go right back to work after she was born. And things were just really, really, really tight. And so when I made the investment in this superfood company and decided to invest in my health, it was actually a very scary investment because it was the last money we had on a credit card. And it was super intense. And I still remember the moment I clicked order and I was like, oh, I hope this is the right decision. That was so stressful. And it was the best decision I ever made. And the reason is one, not only did it regenerate my health, I immediately felt like the lights came on when I started trying these superfoods. Like, I didn't change my diet personally. I kept eating organic, kept eating my plants. And then I just added this in and I was like, wow, I have so much brain clarity and energy. And like 2 months in, I started seeing hair regrowth and like little baby hairs are everywhere. I'm like forever regrowing hair thanks to Purium. Since I was a wild maid now. And I just started really seeing this, and people started commenting like, something's different about you. What are you doing? And I just couldn't not share. So it turned into a kind of a semi-selfish purchase, helped me get out of this postpartum depletion I'm in, to I might put some on my shelves here, to I couldn't shut up about it. And I shared it with everyone. And literally, I mean, like everybody that knows me is pretty much on Purium that I'm friends with. And fast forward 3 years, and we have built a multiple six-figure income Imperium. And that is insane to me when you really say that out loud. And what this company did was actually in my practice, I was at a ceiling. Like I don't need to be here. I don't need to be in the clinic, but I have continued to be here as a service because people need regenerative health. And so I got to the level that I couldn't take on any more people. And I was like, okay, I don't need the money, but I need somebody here. And the light bulb went off and it was like, duh, train people. So one day I woke up and I was like, build a training program. I'm going to open a school and train people in regenerative health. And that idea would never have crossed my mind before because I was too much in survival. I barely had money to like clear the mortgage. And so I was actually able to shut down my entire clinic practice, go to Mexico. And by shut down, I mean, keep paying for my clinic, keep paying for my house, and then paying for my stay in Mexico, and build an institute from the ground up. And then that built another giant income stream for me. So Purium became this like roadmap for me. It was like the tool, it was the vessel that allowed me to build multiple streams of income. And I guarantee you that if I would not have partnered with Purium, I would still be making maybe $100,000 a year, working 70 hours a week, and being stressed out all the time. So thank you for listening to my story. And I'm going to pass it off to Rachel to really share what this has done for you and our mission of really elevating the masses to know your worth and to dream again and to really claim your financial and physical health sovereignty.
Thank you so much, Carrie. I love that as a practitioner that you decided to share this with your clients and that this became its own income stream and then it helped you create another income stream. And what's so interesting is I came from this completely from a different industry. I came to Purium from a wedding photography industry. And so I was working really, really hard as a wedding photographer. I was working also like probably 70 hours, 70-hour weeks. My time was not mine. I didn't have any time to be with my family. I didn't have any time to do anything else. And I was constantly exhausted. And I was like, I felt like I was on that, on that rat wheel, like, okay, like I get home, relax, eat. And it's just like shove food into my mouth, or eat at a wedding while I'm while I'm standing up and just like shove whatever food I can in my mouth, like in between pictures and stuff like that. And then it's like go to sleep, wake up, and then, and then edit and then start the grind again. And then like hustling. And it felt like a total hustle. And I really got to a point of being so burnt out that I got sick. And I ended up with Hashimoto's, autoimmune disorder of the thyroid. And that was really, really taxing on my whole business. I could not work. I was completely exhausted. I had brain fog. I became antisocial. I didn't want to be around anybody. And I just kept praying for another way to make a living. And I literally was actually praying for a 9-to-5. I said, is there like any job I can take that's just like a 9-to-5 where I can just get out of this industry? I can sleep at night, not think about my business, and I can just do something else. And so it's so interesting when you really, really pray and open up to something. Like I got to this point in my life where I made a decision and I said, I'm not going to be sick anymore. And I'm not going to be in this financial depletion, this state of like, I actually depleted my entire finances. And I was like, I can't do this anymore. I refused to work that industry. I got down to one wedding a month, just enough to pay for food. I was just like, just cover the bare necessities. I don't need to work that hard. But I also was stuck. So I was sick. I was financially depleted. I ended up even getting to the point where I ended up living in my car. I moved into my car to save money. And it was like, oh my gosh, how did I go from this like 6-figure wedding photographer to living in my car? I was so embarrassed. I felt really humiliated that I was doing that. I didn't want anyone to know. And yet it was a decision I made. But I also at that same time made a decision like, you know what? Some people get well. And I'm going to be one of those people. Not only that, but there's got to be a way that to create residual income. And I just kept having this thought on my mind, residual income. I didn't even really know how to create it. I just knew the concept of like money that comes into your bank account while you're sleeping. I was like, who makes residual income? I'm like, rock stars, actors, like people who, you listen to their music over and over again, you watch their movies over and over again, and like money keeps coming in. That was all I could think of. And I was like, I can't really imagine being a rock star right now. I can't really imagine being an actor right now. And I was like, I guess it's just not going to happen. But I did still say, like, there's got to be, and here's what I say. This is something I truly believe. If you just believe that there's a way, that way will find you. If you just believe there is a way, that way will find you. And it found me, surprisingly. I saw it on Facebook. It's like, oh, okay, what's that? Oh, that looks good. That looks healthy. Detoxing seems like a good idea. That's probably good for me, but I didn't actually expect it to take effect. But it did. It had the biggest impact. It completely reversed my health. All of a sudden, I had tons of energy. All of a sudden, I felt this joie de vivre. I was like, oh my God, I'm on top of the world. How did this happen? Is this going to last? But I've been doing like the Daily Core 4 products for the last 8 years. And now my blood works normal. Everything's fine. And Purium also gave me something to give my community. It gave me something amazing to share with my friends, my family, all my friends in the social media world. I was just like talking about it, and everyone was like, oh yeah, I want that, I want that. And then it gave me an income, that income that I'd been looking for, that residual income, because people order again and again and again and again, and they just never want to get off it because they love it. They're like, this is such a magical food. I feel so alive. I feel so healthy. I just want to continue. And I was like, wow, this is amazing. I found the residual income. I didn't even know it was going to come through this vessel. I had no idea it was even going to come through that portal. I was like, how did this happen? This is so amazing. And then something even more amazing happened. During that year, my father had died, and he was from the Philippines. I inherited the problems of his children, their financial depletion. I was in this situation before I was really earning income with Purium, like, oh my gosh, how am I going to help them survive? Like, now that's on me. I have a brother, he has kids. My sister has kids. My other brother has kids. What am I going to do? Well, I went to the Philippines once I finally had a little egg of money, and I saw my nephew and I said, hey, what are you going to do when you grow up? He was just about to graduate high school, and he said, I'm going to go work in a factory. And he was very proud. I'm going to go work in a Korean factory. And I was like, ooh, that sounds dangerous to me. And it sounded really hard. And I had seen this in my Filipino family again and again, that these children were going away from their homes, very far away, and then working in these very dangerous jobs. And even the mother of one of my nieces ended up having to become a prostitute in order to be able to send money to the family. And I was like, this is the end. I'm done with this legacy. Like, this is not going to happen under my watch. And Purium just created this incredible income for me where I was able to finally put all those kids through college. I put my brother's son through college. I put his daughter through college, and then I put my other son's daughter through college. My sister doesn't have any kids at that age yet, but I plan to put those guys through college too. But this has really, really given me, like, it's just incredible how this has given me such a beautiful, beautiful way to support my family. And I've helped create businesses for them and help empower them, right? Not just sending them food every month, but actually helping them create businesses, helping them go to college, helping them become able to fend for themselves. And I've seen that in other people in our community who you can, if you ever want to see any replays, there's some other replays from other women in our group who are also supporting people in third world countries and have been able to support their family in third world countries. And so this is just such a magical way to do something that's great for the earth, because we are contributing by buying with our purchasing power. We are contributing to these wonderful regenerative farms. We are helping people transform their health. We are helping women and men and people of all different constituencies have income. And most people are just $500 away from breaking the bank. And even just creating that much a month for my team has been so helpful for so many people that I know. So it's really amazing how easy it is to get started as well. You know, all I did was I bought my own superfoods pack. I bought a detox. I bought a transformation, the ultimate lifestyle transformation. This gave me an opportunity to choose to either stay a customer or become a brand partner. I saw the writing on the wall. I asked the people who had invited me to that call, I asked them like what they were earning. I asked them what they were doing. I had all kinds of questions. And I said, wow, this is something I can do from home. I saw how it was. I just saw it on social media. And I was like, that's so simple. This is like the online thing. And it was before the pandemic. But let me tell you, once the pandemic hit, our company grew. Our company tripled in size. Of all things, all of a sudden if I had stayed in wedding photography, I would have been definitely in my car still on the streets. Not only that, all of a sudden I had a new way to help my friends earn income who were losing jobs, who were getting kicked out, who were shutting down their stores, losing jobs, all kinds of different scenarios. And they were like, I need a way to make income. And I was able to say, I have a way, and able to help them build teams and start to create income for their communities. So I ask you, what are three ways that you would like to impact your community? Is it health? Is it the environment? Is it helping people make income? And what about for yourself? So this is what we offer here. And we are definitely looking for more people who would like to share that mission. And we invite you to join us. And it's very simple to get started. If you just start with your own health, you'll get paid to take care of your own health. You'll end up getting paid to take care of your community. You will end up being paid to make a difference in those three areas, those three pillars. Okay? So whoever invited you, I invite you to connect with them. They have a discount code for you. You can get 25% off of your first order, and then you can join the family of Purium. We are an incredible community. Not only that, we have this wonderful, amazing bunch of events that are coming up, these regional events where we are going to like team bond and have fun and be in person and connect on the river. There's also in different areas of the United States. So this is a really wonderful time where you can also join what we're doing. We're doing this beautiful like 90-day incubator. It's a 90-day togetherness where we're actually going to be doing some really wonderful business training. Where can you go to business school for free? Purium. You can go to business school for free here. You can actually be paid to learn about business. It's pretty amazing. You don't have to pay anything extra, get any other degrees. You're fine as you are. It's almost too easy. It's almost too easy to get in. So talk to the person who invited you. They'll give you some information. We're going to close this call in a moment, and then we'll open it to question and answer. If you have questions about how to join us, or any questions about the business model, or any questions about how we do things, and we're going to be here to answer your questions. The last thing I want to end with is, after all those 8 years, I finally was able to take Carrie's class. So Carrie has become my teacher. I'm an alumni of her program, and I have to say it's one of the most magical things that I've ever done. And she's an incredible, absolutely incredible teacher. And so you come into this community and you have an option to also be schooled by her. So thank you all for joining. I hope to hear just all of your stories at some point and get to know each and every one of you. And feel free to stay on. We'll end the recording, but feel free to stay on and share with us any thoughts or questions you have, any takeaways. Thank you. Do you have anything else, Carrie?
I was just going to say, there's so many pieces to our story in this business. Like there's so many, like I started as like the postpartum depleted mom with hair falling out and no money in the bank to, okay, I started like in the first 5 months in the business, I matched what took me 5 years to build here. And I was, matching my income because there is a lot of overhead here. And then I got comfortable, right? I got comfortable at this, I think it was Green Diamond I got to. I was still loving my practice, but it really was the pandemic that changed my entire business. So I was pregnant with my son, Ash, and I had Mila on my hip, and I was in Hawaii when the pandemic dropped to the public. And my husband called me and said, well, your clinic's deemed non-essential. You can't work. And I was like, without going into my story, I've missed my maternity leave on 3 out of 4 babies I birthed. Like every time it was money that I had to go back to work, and I lost my mind. And it was in that moment, I was like, I will not not have a maternity leave with my last baby ever. I refuse. And it just was like this download in my body. And I was like, you've got to be kidding me. I've built this practice, I have this money and savings. And it was just like, you can't work. You can't work. You're non-essential. And we won't even go into the fact that a health clinic is not essential in the middle of a pandemic, but it made me realize like, okay, I have this Purium thing that I'm not leveraging like I should be. And I'm not working it as hard as I could. And so I just doubled down. I was like, all right, I have this online resource, and that's all I'm going to do is double down and focus on this. And by the time he was born, I went from green to blue. And then from there, after he was born, I took my whole maternity leave. I took all my time. I snuggled with him nonstop. It was amazing. It was beautiful. And my team was literally growing while I was just laying in bed with my snuggly baby. And it was after my maternity leave that I started to re-enter the clinic. And I was like, nope. And I went out to Mexico and I closed my clinic practice down. And I said, why am I not paying attention to the one thing that's bringing me in residual wealth while I'm home with my children? So I shut this down for a whole, I think like 6 weeks. And I focused as hard as I could on building my team. And I doubled from blue to red. And then we went from red to crown. That doesn't mean anything to you if you're new here, but it means that I built, like when I focused my energy on the fact that I had this, I was able to move into that 6-figure and beyond income with just my online stream. With that was like originally my side hustle. And it wasn't even really, it was just like the side cushion, I should say. So what you focus on grows, what you think about, you bring about, like that is real. And I will tell you that if I wouldn't have partnered with Purium, I don't know where I'd be through this pandemic. This clinic probably still wouldn't be here. I would have lost like everything, including my maternity leave. And so I don't know about you, but I never want the rug to be pulled out from underneath me ever again. And that is what we have here. We have complete freedom of our time, our schedule, when we want to work. There's no quotas, there's no pressure. Like it's amazing. Like literally, this is the best company ever, the most heart-centered people that have totally transformed my health, my finances, and the opportunities. And then we get to work with amazing women like this and men. I'm inclined towards working with women. I just forget about the boys. You can build whatever you want, but I work a lot with women. So if this is like speaking to your heart, come hang out with us. We'll stop the recording now. Come hang out with us and ask us questions, and we'll get you connected with the person that brought you here.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you all for joining us. It's been a beautiful experience, and we'll have the recording available if you want to share it with anybody. So have a great night, everybody. Take care, and we'll stay on for questions.